Hello and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther and this is day one of my road trip and retreat. I have just pulled into, actually I'll tell you the name of it in a minute, a botanical gardens right outside of Richmond, Virginia. My goal on my way down, it's about a 7 to 8 hour drive that I have to make today total. And so I'm trying to stop every 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, and go out and see something, spend an hour or so there hanging out, or maybe even just a half an hour, stretch my legs. And these botanical gardens have, I could honestly spend all day here, but I'm just going to spend 2 hours, and I'm going to share some of the beauty of it when I get inside. So let's go see. I really like the layout of this area. You have the echinacea, that's tick seed over there, and then a tall grasses in between as it flows around. I think this is really, really beautiful. Happy to see echinacea in bloom because these are some of the ones I'm growing. And the pollinators love it. They're all over them. Look at the tiny, tiny bee. In the entrance to their healing garden, they have these huge beds just of sprawling thyme. And I couldn't help but just come in and... Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Look at this. Green lavender. I want this plant. I am 100% gonna grow this plant next year. Look at these beautiful yellow little pom-poms. They're so cool looking. And I love yellow flowers. Oh, okay, that's going on list for next year. Green lavender. Next time I come here, I'm gonna bring a book and a notepad, and I'm gonna sit at one of those benches, listen to the water in these beautiful gardens, and I'm just gonna write. In fact, maybe on my drive back, I'll set a couple hours aside to come visit this place and just go sit on a bench in the garden. Oh. So I have to admit, I like roses, but I've never grown any. I know they're a problem to grow. And I'm looking for inspiration. I'm in the rose garden here and I want to see what they have and if anything really calls to me. So let's check it out. I tend to really like flowers that have a lot of layers to them. And this is a really beautiful one. It's a delicate pink, very delicate pink. Let's see what kind it is. I don't see a label. It's probably on the other side. They have a whole area of this one kind. So beautiful. I find myself drawn to the light pink and white roses. Oh, I can smell them in the garden. It smells like your aunt left the room where it's just still delicate. It smells so beautiful. Look, this one's hiding behind a thing. So stunning. It looks like much of the roses are coming and going and coming to the end of their prime. This one, this peach colored one, is really, really beautiful in my mind. Even though it is kind of starting to fade, it looks like. I can't convey to you the smell of being here in the rose garden. It doesn't smell like a specific rose. It just smells so pleasant. Just so subtle in the air. It's really nice. And check out this one, this multicolored rose that I'm tempted to look for myself. It has these, oh, and the bee loves it. Oh, it's called a Rockin' Robin Shrub Rose. I like how it has the little compact flowers. Let's see if we can get into a bee, get a bee going. Yeah. Some stunning, stunning flowers here. We're at the Lotus Bridge garden area near the tea house, and the irises are in bloom. So beautiful. Minus the shrieking kids, of course. My sister once mentioned to me that irises remind her of our late grandma on my father's side, because she would always come to visit in the spring when the iris were in bloom. So now I also, whenever I think about iris or see them, think about my grandma Hartman, who I miss dearly. Who I miss so dearly. I found some gardenias, partly by scent, and I'm gonna go smell one up close. Oh, it smells so wonderful. So wonderful. Look at that stunning, stunning flower. I'm sitting outside the tea house, the beautiful forest of bamboo over there, and the sound of running water, little path with a bridge going by. And I went into the tea house and I got fresh brewed mint tea with a little bit of simple syrup squirted in by them. And then this is a chickpea mash sandwich on gluten-free bread because I have a gluten allergy, and I really appreciate that they had gluten-free bread options for sandwiches. This is the native plant hydrangea. This is an Oakleaf hydrangea. And look how beautiful the flowers are. They definitely look different. Both the leaves and the plant overall look different than the kind of hydrangea I'm used to seeing. But I have been thinking about getting hydrangea in our yard. Obviously, I would have to prune it a lot more than they have this one pruned. I mean, this thing is massive. This is probably like, yeah, I can't even explain to you how big this thing is. But I would love to have an Oakleaf hydrangea in our yard somewhere. And it looks like it can handle a little bit of understory shade because there's some trees in around, and I bet it gets, I'm gonna look it up, but I bet it can handle part shade as long as it gets like at least 5 hours of sun, 4 or 5. So pretty. Gardening goals. I have to say, I am really having a good appreciation for how they are handling the shade. I mean, look at those hostas over there and the ferns. I think those are Christmas ferns. It's giving me some really great ideas for what we can do in our part shade garden. There's some butterflies over there. How fun! Yay! I really like this fern because it has this beautiful shading that goes from The center being very dark to the outside. I think I'm gonna look this up and try to put this in my shade garden too. I need a bigger shade garden. Words nobody ever said before now. Look at this giant tree. And it's creating this beautiful canopy. Someday I want to have a yard big enough for a tree this size. Oh, where I can put a bench and surround it with ferns. Like as a kid, you could totally climb up those branches if this wasn't a park and climb up the tree. Kind of reminds me of Cherie the tree, although she was sideways. I'll tell that story sometime. It was really neat. Throughout the garden, they have on this path, they have these birds reflecting light. Oh, it's a really neat idea. So for my second stop on my trip down, I decided to stop in downtown Fayetteville, North Carolina, I think. And upon arriving, this beautiful church bells were going off. It's a really beautiful church, quite stunning. I wish they were having services because I'd be tempted to go visit. And I was gonna go downtown, but I saw that there's this beautiful park down here as I was driving towards downtown. And I hear water, I see people playing, and I'm gonna go rest and relax for a few minutes before I get back on the road for the last hour of my trip. Turns out there's a statue to Lafayette here. And there's this nice bridge that comes from a really beautiful path in the woods. This is under and continues on. I just love the sound of running water. I don't know about you guys. If I need a place to go relax, a fountain or something like that is always really nice. This is cool. I don't know what this is. I've never seen anything like it. But this tree has, the top of it has like these little poofy pink things. Anyone know what that is? Hi. How are you? Hi. Aren't you pretty? Yeah. You hungry? Want to eat something? You ready, girls? You ready? All right. There we go. I know. Huh? Yeah, that's all there is. Girls. Looks like her squash is ahead of me. Really healthy plant. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. The next part of my road trip involved going to stay at a place for a retreat for 4 days the next day, and I actually stayed at a monastery. So I hope you'll check back in to see a video about how that went and why I went and kind of what I learned from it. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you aren't already a subscriber, please consider doing so. And make sure either way that you have the bell alert set so you get a heads up when I post new content like this next video that's coming. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.